What's up, guys? I hope you're doing well. So, apparently, there's a new documentary, The Dark Side of Hunter Biden, put out by a Vincent Vintage. Is that his name? Yeah, Vince Vintage. Okay. I've never seen this before. I am very excited about seeing this. I've seen a lot of stuff about Hunter Biden. I've been following it. And I think I can. This kind of messes me up because it's backwards. Like, this is my left hand, but it shows up on my right. This is my right hand, and it shows up on my left. But anyways, that's nothing to do with nothing. Back to Hunter Biden. So we're gonna start watching this thing, and I think it's going to be really good. So let's see what happens here.
Purchasing crack from homeless people in LA, snorting coke off a stripper's ass, being in and out of rehab 6 times. Today we're gonna dive deep into the story of
Six
Hunter Biden.
times. Buckle your seatbelts.
In this video, I'm gonna talk about addiction. It is a very serious topic, and I'm not making fun of his addiction,
It is.
but rather how privileged Hunter is.
I've
And
suffered
he has
with
had
addiction
everything
myself.
afforded to him,
So has my
and he
brother who has
continues
passed
to throw
away.
it down the toilet. And just how he cannot get his damn act together.
That's why this bothers me so much. I've had a
So
brother
the story
die.
of Hunter Biden starts out in 1988. He's 18 years old, and Joe Biden and the family are out on a trip by Jersey Shore.
Good lord.
Everyone's having a blast until little old Hunter gets his first slip up. He gets arrested for narcotics possession. But did he get a ticket? Did he get some jail time? His dad did famously say we need to
Course
hold
not.
every drug user accountable.
We have to hold every drug user accountable.
But instead, he got a pre-trial intervention. Well, what's a pre-trial intervention?
Well, that's not really fair. If that's his first offense, everybody gets one pretrial intervention. So, if he hasn't used his pretrial intervention, he still has one to use. I've never used mine. I still probably got one I can use, but he hasn't used his, and he was a child at that time. I don't know if the law is still the same, but that's the way it was. Everybody usually gets one PTI. But anyways.
It's community service while having your record expunged. All of this while your dad is the lead advocate for the war on drugs.
The president says he wants to wage a war on drugs, but if that's true, what we need is another D-Day, not another Vietnam.
So he was given the chance to reform and have a fresh start being.
And about Hunter Biden's war on drugs, he made it to where it's 100 times more of a sentence if you get crack cocaine as opposed to cocaine. There's a mandatory 5 years for the size of a quarter, a 1/4 of a dollar quarter. So for the size of that, you get 5 years in jail minimum. Nothing judge can do about it. But if you doing cocaine, then you just get a little slap on the wrist. And you can see why that ain't fair, because rich people do cocaine, poor people do crack. Usually Hunter's the exception. I think this is like some sort of divine comedy to where Hunter Biden, of all people, is on crack, a poor person's drug. So anyways, so it was affecting the poor people way more than the rich people. The rich people were skirting by; they were just doing normal cocaine. But these people doing the crack, man, they had to go. But anyways,
18 and all. And just a couple months later, Hunter gets into Georgetown University to study history. He starts drinking a bit more, starts smoking Marlboro Reds, kind of starts partying more, and also starts to ramp up his crack.
Marlboro Reds.
Quoted here.
That's the
Once I
gateway
was hoping
drug.
to buy cocaine, but I was sold a piece of crack, and I wasn't sure how to take the drug. I didn't have a stem, which is a pipe. So instead I improvised. I stuffed the crack
Quack.
into a cigarette and I smoked it. But it didn't have much of an effect.
A woo
Quoted
banger?
from the New Yorker.
Doing a woo banger?
It's 1993 and Hunter graduates from Georgetown.
So
He
you
gets
bought
into
the
law
drug,
school.
it sucked, and
So he's
then
in
you
law
still tried
school,
it again.
He starts partying even more. And while he's partying, he meets a girl named Kathleen. And after a couple of weeks of hanging out, she gets knocked up. And within 3 months of that, they got married.
Oh,
Hunter eventually graduates law school.
Move fast,
and he
Hunter.
gets his first real
You
job
love
as a big
hard.
attorney, working for the biggest donor for his dad's campaign, MB&A Bank. And he was making the big
MB&A
bucks. He was
young
making
boy.
as much money as his dad was being a senator.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
come on, man.
No, I'm serious. I'm being deadly earnest.
And this afforded him
Deadly
the ability
earnest.
to ramp up his habit.
Be
Starts
earnest to
drinking from
death.
the bottle. And he's doing this for about 10 years.
Mm.
And 10 years later,
A
in
little too much with the
2003,
graphics,
his
but, you
wife
know, I
forced
get
him to
it.
go
It's
to
YouTube.
rehab. He was stumbling around. His crack
You gotta
habit was
keep
out
the
of
tension.
control. And within the month of going to rehab, he's attending Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, and Hunter achieved 7 years of sobriety. But then
Wow,
once
really?
2010 came along,
Wow.
Hunter's on a business trip. He's flying home from Madrid. He decides, I'm gonna have 3 Bloody Marys. Knocks him back, gets back home. He continues to drink in secret for a couple of months. Eventually told his brother, and he went to rehab again.
Mhm.
About a couple years later,
Rehab for drinking?
Hunter gets a real
He must have
nasty
been doing
case
some
of the
other
shingles.
stuff.
Goes to the doctor and they prescribe him Vicodin.
Damn, it's them
He's taking
hoes you
Vicodin for
messing
about
with.
a month, but once his prescription ran out, he started drinking again. And while on a month-long drinking binge, Hunter decided he was going to join the military and serve his country at the ripe old age of 44. And on May 7th, he was assigned to the Reserve Naval Unit in Norfolk. So Hunter gets sworn in from a small ceremony with his father at the White House. And on his first day, Hunter had to submit a drug test. He submitted the test, and then just a few months later, he gets a letter in the mail stating that cocaine was found in his system. And under Navy rules, a positive test
It
triggers
took
a
that long?
discharge. But he was positive. It was
You
not
could have
his fault. It
discharged him
couldn't
on the
have been his.
spot.
So he wrote a letter. He got a team of attorneys together, and they said, we had no idea how this drug got in my system. And he suggested that when I was at the bar, I think I smoked a cigarette from these 2 black men, and it had to have been laced with
Oh,
crack.
it's the black
So he spent
guys.
months debating this with his
Ja
attorney
Rule
and
gave
the
it to you,
appeals
huh?
panel. But because of his past drug abuse
What
and
some
rehab
racist
stints,
shit to
they
do.
decided not to appeal.
And now it's ad time. Oh, let's check it out.
So these right here are
Audible.
real
You
paychecks.
can make money.
So the records show Hunter was discharged February 8th, 2014. And from there, the crack binge continued.
We have a lot of bad judgment in my family. My son, who's over 40, just joined the United States Navy, is about to be sworn in as an officer.
So just a couple of months later from being discharged from the Navy for using cocaine, Hunter gets a nice cushy job on the board of Burisma. With no previous experience in energy,
Yeah,
working at the
this is
largest
what's
Ukrainian
messed a lot of
gas and
people
energy
up.
firm. And
I wonder how much this comes into play with what's even going on with Ukraine right now. Because Hunter Biden, he exploited his dad as a resource and he took millions of dollars from this company. I'm sure he's going to tell us all about it. But, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if that has little something to do with what's going on in Ukraine right now. But I don't know. I'm a nobody. I don't really know that much, to be honest
you
with
want to
you.
know how much Hunter Biden made? He made $86,000 a month.
Damn.
In the list that you gave me of the reasons why you're on that board, you did not list the fact that you were the son of the vice
Of course,
president.
yeah, no.
What
Well, of
role do you
course
think
you
that
did.
played?
I think that it is impossible for me to be on any of the boards that I just mentioned without saying that I'm the son of the Vice President of the United States.
Maybe this isn't a good idea to go and sit on the board of this
Well, I just said to you.
Ukrainian company.
I said to you, in retrospect, I wish
Right, but
that
at
my
the
judgment.
time, you never thought, this might not look right.
You know what? I'm a human.
You didn't
And
care.
You know what? Did I make a mistake? Well,
I'm a
maybe
human, I
in,
didn't
in-
care.
in the grand scheme of things, yeah.
Yeah.
So right after
I'll
getting
take
his
some
job at Burisma,
responsibility, but not at
Hunter
the same
decides,
time.
I'm going to get cleaned up this time. So he goes to the sketchiest rehab clinic in all of Mexico, in Tijuana, to get the illegal treatment in the United States
The
using the
ayahuasca?
West African shrub plant. But then a couple months later, he starts using again. And he's doing this for about a year. And then in June
Oh,
6th,
shit, he's
of
got a needle in
2015,
his
a
hand.
very significant event happens.
Good
This
evening.
dude's
The
probably
political
shooting
world tonight
crack.
is mourning the death of Beau Biden, the son of Vice President Joe Biden, who succumbed to brain cancer Saturday at the age of 46.
His brother Joseph dies.
How messed up is that for you to be the one with the drug problem? Everybody thinking you're gonna die, and then your brother, who seems to be, you know, a fair decent person, he dies instead. With what his kids in a crash. I mean, it's horrible. It's horrible. That's one thing that I feel for him on, and Joe Biden both. I'm not a Democrat personally, but you know, addiction is something close to my heart because, as I said, my little brother has passed away due to a drug overdose on 9/11/2017, right after church, he's supposed to be getting baptized next week, you know, so it just really messes you up in the head. But at least he got, you know, the satisfaction of knowing that his brother, you know, is hopefully gone to a better place. Because I don't know much about Bo Biden, but it seems like he lived a pretty good life, and you know, I would be sad too. Just that's one thing I would pray for the Biden family on, because I mean that's some hard stuff to deal with, to be honest with you.
Size of a brain tumor. It's unexpected, it's a real tragedy. And during this time, Hunter starts using even more. And his wife forced him to go to couples therapy. And they reached an agreement that if Hunter started drinking again, he would have to move out of the house. And the day after their 22nd anniversary, Hunter left his couples therapy session, drank a bottle of vodka, and moved on out.
22nd
A
anniversary.
month later goes by of this. He's moved out, and he decides, I'm
22nd
going to get sober again.
anniversary.
Let's go to rehab. And he's really trying to show his wife that he was cleaning up. He wanted to make things work with her. So he's in rehab, and then all of a sudden,
A website that encourages people to cheat on their partners is reeling from a huge data breach. AshleyMadison.com executives confirmed this morning that their website has been hacked.
the Ashley Madison hack happens. And you know whose name was in the database? Hunter Biden. Not only
my
that, his
God.
credit card was on file, pictures were on file, photos were on file. And because of that, Hunter and Kathleen finally
You
decided
are
to separate,
sneaky.
not get divorced,
You are
due
so
to the Ashley
sneaky,
Madison hack
dude.
revealing that he was cheating on her this whole entire time. And Hunter continued to use and fall down the dark hole of drug abuse for a couple of months. So Hunter decides to enroll in rehab again. It's a treatment program. And while there, he gets a call to go to a business
Yeah,
meeting
I don't
in
like
Monte
seeing
Carlo.
Hunter looking like
So
that.
Hunter flies out, and while he's in the bathroom of a board meeting, a stranger came up to him and offered him cocaine. And then Hunter started doing the cocaine.
Oh, I'm sure that's how it happened.
So
That's
when he
exactly
came back
how
from
it
his business
happened.
trip and went back to the rehab, he told his counselors about the relapse, but he refused to take a drug test out of concerns that the results would be used against him and published in the press. And when the staff insisted that you take a test, he decided to leave the program. It's about a month later. Hunter and his dead brother's widow, Haley, went to the Hamptons with their children, really just trying to get away from it all.
That's another thing. It seems like they just glossed over that whole fact. But yeah, Hunter Biden, he right after his brother died, he got with his brother's widow, which is kind of crazy. I mean, I don't know. I'm feeling for this poor boy.
And Hunter would spend
Rich
nights
boy.
over at
It's
Haley's
not
house
poor
watching
boy.
TV, and Hunter stated, I started to think of Haley as the only person in my life who understood my loss. They were starting to get closer and closer, while Hunter was still married to his wife. So Hunter, who was already moved out of his marital home with his estranged wife Kathleen, somehow kind of dating his dead brother's widow Haley, he made plans to go head to a detox center in Arizona to get cleaned up.
Why
While
did
he was on
Haley
the
even
labor
agree
flight
to
in LA,
this?
he got sidetracked, lost something in the flight. He had to stay in LA for a week. So the minute he got to LA, he walked
Something in
up
the
to a
water
homeless
up there
man and
in,
asked him, "Hey man, you know where I could buy some crack?"
Pennsylvania.
The man took him to a nearby homeless encampment where in a narrow passageway between the tents, someone put a gun to his head before realizing that he was a buyer. And Hunter returned a few more times to buy crack that week, while partying in strip clubs and nightclubs all throughout LA. And after a week-long crack binge, Hunter decided, I'm gonna go just
Yeah,
drive
I
to the
don't-
rehab
that's too
myself
much.
in
That's
Arizona.
too much. I love the
while
video.
in the
It's a
midst
great video.
of a
but
crack episode.
That's a little
So
too
he
much.
rents a car at Hertz, takes off on a 7-hour trip in the middle of the night.
I guess it's not
So
considering
he's
what he's
driving
done.
down
I'm
Interstate
being too
10,
critical.
listening
But
to tunes, smoking some crack, and then all of a sudden lost control of his car. Jumped the median, skipped to the stop on the shoulder on the westbound side. His car was totaled. So Hunter called Hertz, who collected the damaged car and gave him a second rental. And he told him that there was a barn owl that flew overhead when I was driving.
I've done something similar on my birthday one time. I don't know. I was having a hard year. A lot of things was going on. I actually ended up in a ditch in a rental Camaro, just like that, but it was black instead of yellow. And that was on my birthday. And I remember just sitting there in this huge ditch. I could have died. And I was just crying. I was just so sad and defeated. And then they gave me another one. But because of how I was living at the time and how everything was going. They gave me another one. I was waiting on somebody at the ball field down the road from my mom's house, and I fell asleep in the car while it was still in drive. You know, of course, I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. I was just messing up all types of ways. Anyways, I went in the ditch apparently in daytime, and then I woke up at nighttime, and I woke up in the ditch. I was sitting at the ballpark in daytime, and I woke up in the ditch at nighttime. I don't know how nobody ain't see me, call the police on me, or any of that other stuff. But you know, I immediately called my parents and everything, and they ended up helping me get out the situation, got a roll back, and yeah, that really sucked. But anyways, further on with the story.
Car because I didn't want to hit the owl. Hertz takes the car back, they give him a new one, he's on his merry way. And that night, Hunter arrived at the rehab in Prescott and dropped off the car at the Hertz Rent-A-Car Center. So when Hertz took back the car, they're cleaning the car, they're seeing if he left anything inside. And what did they find? Well, Hertz ended up calling the police because of what they found. They found a bag of crack, a meth pipe, Secret Service business cards, Hunter's credit cards, Hunter's driver's license, and his dead brother Joseph's Attorney General badge. But Hunter was not around. The police had no idea where he was at. So within
Yeah, he's leaving all that in a car. So you think it's coincidence that he left his laptop?
the hour, the police ended up calling the FBI to get involved. And while they're requesting the warrants on the phone, the police get a call from a Secret Service agent. And he informs them that Hunter is safe and secure and there's no need to worry about him. Even though it was a Biden family member, the district attorney was still going to bring a case against Hunter. So they're building the case, but then last minute they decide to drop it.
I bet
The
they
reason
do.
why they decided to drop the case was citing a lack of evidence. There wasn't any fingerprints on the pipe, even though it was confirmed that there was crack cocaine residue all over the pipe. And once again, Hunter is on his merry way. So just 1 week after the Hertz Rent-A-Car accident, he's in rehab, and his dead brother's widow, Haley, flew out to go see Hunter. And during their stay, they got
So
extremely
twisted playing.
close. And they decided that they were going to be a couple, but keep their relationship a secret, hiding from Hunter's wife and the press. But soon the press found out, and Hunter's wife. Title:
What the?
Beau Biden's
What
widow
are you
having an
doing?
affair with married brother.
Within a couple of months, Hunter's wife, Kathleen, filed for divorce. Not only did she just file for divorce, but she also filed a motion to freeze his assets, stating that over the course of the separation, Hunter had drained hundreds of thousands of dollars from the couple's marital assets, creating financial concerns for the family by spending extravagantly on his own interests, including drugs, alcohol, prostitutes, strip clubs, gifts for women with whom he had sexual relations, while leaving his family no funds to pay legitimate bills. Through these proceedings,
Wow.
the judge came that Kathleen should receive a monthly payment of $37,000 for alimony, tuition, childcare costs for a decade. And Hunter said he was cleaned out. He said, "There's no way I can pay this." He had nothing. Even though he's making $86,000 a month being on the board of Burisma. But what pissed Hunter off the most in these whole court proceedings was being accused of hiring strippers and prostitutes. And he denied them, saying he hadn't seen a stripper in years. And
Bro,
the evening that story was published in the New York Post, he
if you smoking crack, doing all this stuff, and you got money, then why wouldn't you get strippers? Why wouldn't you get women? If you're degenerate like that, why not? You got the money. You ain't got no morals. You ain't got no values. You done prove that you don't care what your wife thinks. You're gonna even cheat on her with your dead brother's wife. You know.
said, "I went directly to a strip club and I said, fuck him."
Meet your next pillow.
What?
Why do we make our pillow in the shape of a cube?
I don't
I'll tell you.
seen too many of
Hunter
these.
started going to several strip clubs right after this incident came out. There's been stories of him getting sex toys used on him. He's using sex toys on others.
I wouldn't
smoking
doubt it.
crack in strip clubs in the VIP rooms.
Just taking a big dildo up the ass.
It's 2018 and Hunter's going to tons of strip clubs. And one stripper catches his eye. Dallas. and he loves Dallas. And he's hanging out with Dallas, everything's all great. And just a couple of months later, Dallas goes up to Hunter and tells him that she's pregnant with this kid. And Hunter wants nothing to do with it. So she has the kid, she goes to court trying to get child support. And in the middle of all of this, they demand a paternity test being done. So while the test is being done, Hunter meets a woman, Melissa Cohen. And after
Groovy,
the
man.
6 days of meeting her, they got married. They got matching
6
tattoos as
days?
well. And Melissa and him buy a house
Twinsies.
together in LA. And while they're doing all of this, Dallas comes back with the paternity test result, and it is Hunter's kid. So currently, right now, they're in the middle of a child support lawsuit where they're trying to get the money out of Hunter. But Hunter's saying
Good
he has
luck.
nothing. He's cleaned out, even though he just bought a $3.3 million home in LA. Despite
Yeah.
Hunter staying very low-key in his LA home, he has come up in the news recently with his laptop situation. And the laptop does confirm a lot of the
Come up in the news tried to hide it. They tried to say, oh, this is far right propaganda. This don't exist. The man who turned in the laptop that they gave it to his computer shop, well, he's had to shut his shop down because of all this. I mean, they've tried everything they can do to avoid talking about this topic, especially with Joe Biden as president. But they need to just be truthful and do the right freaking thing instead of hide lies.
incidents that have happened throughout the years with different strippers and prostitutes and all of that. Does any of this have to do with Joe Biden? I would say kind of, because his dad was the leading advocate for the war on drugs, the 1994 crime bill, that harshened sentences for crack cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
And despite all of that, Hunter has
Which I'm not for crack, but I mean, that's clearly hurting the impoverished. The people doing regular coke just getting no time. People doing crack cocaine, which is obviously all poor people and Hunter Biden. So I don't know why that's his drug of choice, but you know, I can't stop
never
him.
been to jail. He's never gotten a ticket for any of this, and he's consistently gotten away with it. And I think the biggest thing to take away here is that this is politics. This is the hypocritical stuff that politicians do. Trump does it.
Hunter.
Joe Biden does it.
Come on, man.
Obama does it. Everyone does it. And in regards to the whole Burisma thing with his father being
Shows
vice
how
president,
protected
I just
he
want to read
is.
you one. This is an actual law. Federal regulation prohibits federal employees from using public office for private gain or for the private gain of relatives. This regulation, however, does not apply to the president or vice president. So even if these things did happen, they are not illegal. This is the way government is. And that's where we're at with the saga of Hunter Biden. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe.
Well, that was good. Just sad and depressing. There's no thing. Oh, another thing he didn't include is Hunter Biden's been starting art galleries to where he has people pay for his art, but he doesn't know who they are for anonymity for them, even though they could just go and make one, you know, take a picture of it, make one post on Facebook or something, say, hey, I got this art. But you know what? They're trying to get favors out of Biden and get him to do all sorts of stuff, and the way they pay him legally is through them buying his bullshit art that he probably didn't even paint himself. I think it's all one big scam showing that he's not reformed. And also another interesting fact is that he chooses to live in, I think, the most expensive place in America, which I think they said was Palm Beach. And so Secret Service has to be around him 24/7. And the cheapest they could get an apartment down there next to him was like $80,000 a month or something like that. So he's wasting a shitload of taxpayers' dollars because they got a lot of Secret Service on him, and they all got to have houses. So, I mean, it's millions of dollars a year just to keep this degenerate safe. Just to keep this degenerate safe, they are spending millions, and it just makes me so mad. He's not repentant. He's not sad about it. He don't care what he done. He's openly. He doesn't care if he's proud of the fact that he was talking to the reporter and telling her he was smoking anything he could find on the ground that even looked remotely like the crack rock. Like he seen a piece of Parmesan. Well, I'm gonna pick that up and smoke it. I'm gonna see what it does. And so that's how he lives his life, and I think a lot of Americans are not happy with this. You know, Trump don't have the best kids in the world. I'm not saying that he does. I don't know much about them. They definitely not the worst. You know, they're a little arrogant, but at least they're not somewhere smoking crack. I mean, I'm not too happy with the Matt Gaetz and all of his prostitution stuff. Um, so I mean, I really don't support all of them, but the stuff that Hunter Biden's doing is on a next level, and they're just turning a blind eye for now. But we'll see how this story turns out in the end. I appreciate you all watching. I love you all. I hope you have a great day, but that's about it for me now. We'll see you tomorrow. We're going to make this a daily thing. I'm going to come to you every day. We're going to try to get better and better, get better quality, do better all in all. But this is how it starts. This is what we're doing to start. And I hope to see you guys all here for the journey. I love you all. And yeah, that's about it.